Hi besties, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to Vlogmas episode 8 and happy Tuesday. So today's video is a very requested one because you guys know that usually I don't give my books lower than a 4 because honestly I'm not that picky. If I start a book and finish a book, I probably liked the book. Because usually if I don't like a book, I'm just going to like stop reading and probably going to DNF the book. I'm not someone that can literally sit and read a book that I just know I don't like right from the beginning. It's just really hard. Today I'm going to talk about all the books that I DNF'd in 2021 plus why I didn't like them or why I DNF'd them. So make sure to subscribe down below and turn on the notification bell so you get notified when I upload more videos. And yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so quickly I want to mention there's 2 types of DNFing. Okay, I don't know if I just made it up. Okay, when I DNF a book is maybe because I was in a mood and started reading, like the mood went away and I didn't finish the book and yeah, but not because I did not like the book. That's the difference that I want you guys to keep in mind in this video. And the other type of DNFing is when I really don't like a book. Like, that's simple. When I don't like a book, I cannot read it. It's putting me in a reading slump. I cannot do it. That's the other type of DNF. Just to keep that in mind, because I honestly DNF a lot of books, but not because I don't like them, because I literally just get into a mood and I'm like, oh my god, I want to read this book. And like halfway through, I'm just like, I'm over it. I'm over the mood, not over the book. You know, okay. So I have a few books here, but I'm gonna go to my Goodreads and make sure that I'm not leaving any book behind. Okay, I'm just going to randomly start picking out books. You guys know that I usually mostly read romance, and this is a fantasy book, but this is a huge book, first of all. From Blood and Ash by Jennifer Armentrout. Okay, hear me out. I started this book, I literally got to page 30, and I was like, not my favorite, you know, when you start reading a book and you're just like, not my favorite. I'm not really drawn to the kind of book, you know? Like, I'm not saying it's bad or good because I just don't know. Honestly, I started reading this book 2 times, okay? But I didn't realize it. Like, months ago, I started reading this book on my Kindle, and I had no idea that I started reading the book. And when I started reading the book with the paperback, and I started remembering this story, and I'm like, what? And I realized that I actually had previously started the book and didn't like it. Didn't like the story because I don't know if it's good or not. I'm not saying it's bad, but just I was not drawn to the story. It's really high fantasy. It's huge. It's humongous. And I think that's another thing that put me off. Just psychological, that you see a book that's huge and you're just like, oh, what? So yeah, maybe I will give it a try another time. I don't know. Probably not soon, but yeah. Okay, that was the first one that I DNF'd. The next one that I have here, honestly, I wouldn't say this is a DNF'd book because it's not that I don't want to read it. This is what I'm saying, you know, I start books, I never finish them, and this is one book that I honestly did like the story, but it reminded me a lot of a movie, so I was kind of like, okay, this book is The Inheritance Games. Hear me out. I'm not saying it's bad because it's not. It's really good. But I think that what happened is that when I was reading the book, I was picturing the book as a movie. Have you guys seen the movie Knives Out? It's just really similar to this book. And when I started reading the book, I previously recently had watched that movie. So I was like, picturing the movie, picturing the book. I think that's what put me off. But I got to chapter 18, okay? Got to page 73. So honestly, yes, I started the book, did not finish, but doesn't mean that I'm not going to, because I probably am. This is a book that I'm probably going to finish at some point. I'm just a mood reader. Someday when I have when I get into the mood to read this book, I'm just gonna pick it up. It's not that I didn't like it, because it's honestly really good. It's really intriguing. Okay, the next book is another humongous book. Like, this is huge. Backstory with this book. This is a series. This is the second book of a series. I read the first book, loved it. This is Crush. This is a second book of the Crave series by Tracy Wolff. Okay, I think that what I didn't really love about this book is that someone spoiled it for me in the comments of my TikTok one day, and I was like, you got to be kidding me. It was a sad moment, you guys. Literally, someone started, I don't know, someone like commented on one of my TikToks, and I don't know if the TikTok talked about this book. I honestly don't remember. And someone freaking spoiled the whole, the whole plot of the book. And I'm just like, no. No. No way, I just read that. And then I started reading the book, and I just knew what was gonna happen. It was like, seriously? Seriously? So I think that's what happened with me. I started reading the book, and I already knew what was gonna happen. Usually I don't read books. Usually when I read books, I honestly have no clue what is gonna happen or what the book is about. I'm just really like that. You guys know that I don't read the back of the books sometimes, but with this series, I had no idea what was gonna happen. But literally I got to page 200. That book has 700 pages. But I think I would keep reading someday. It's not that I wouldn't, because I like the story, you know? Just that little fact that put me off. Okay, the next book, it's a romance book. Don't come at me. I'm not saying it's bad, because it's not. But I started reading The Sweetest Oblivion when I was in a, I don't know, I was in a spicy book marathon. I read spicy book after spicy book, and I was just really, really into this mood of reading spicy books. And this was the last book that I read, the last spicy book of my little marathon a couple of months ago. This is The Sweetest Oblivion by Danielle Laurie. This is the first book of the Maid series. Here's my book tab. Let me tell you, I got to page 270, 270. Okay, so I really got into this book. I just started reading the book. It was really good. One day I stopped reading, because usually, I don't know, I read for a couple of hours, I stop reading, and the next day I pick up the book again, etc., etc. But the next day when I went to pick up the book, the mood was gone. When I tell you that this thing with moods is honestly kind of frustrating, it's really good. It's a dark romance, but it's really good. It's not that dark, honestly. Okay, next book, kind of a rom-com romance book. This is, I think, the first book that I'm going to talk about that I DNFed, because I honestly did not like. Every time I picked up this book, it was putting me in a reading slump. I was dreading reading this book. This is Beach Read by Emily Henry. I read a couple of pages, and I started reading this book in a plane, and when I arrived to my trip and everything, I was just struggling with the book. I was struggling, you guys. And yeah, I honestly just did not like the book. It has a really, I felt like it was so slow. I was like, what is the point of this? I don't know. It wasn't for me, guys. Probably not gonna pick this book up again. This is definitely one that I'm probably not gonna pick up again. So I'm just gonna take out the bookmark. And not because I don't like it, you're not gonna like it. Give it a try. A lot of people love it. It's just, it wasn't for me. This other book that I'm going to talk about, I am loving. I don't know why I've started reading this book so many times. I never finished the book. It's just kind of annoying at this point. I'm not even halfway in. Okay, this is The Love Hypothesis. I'm really loving this book, and I know that when I get to the part where the slow burn ends, it's going to be even better. But I don't know why I've picked this book up to keep reading it 3 times, and I never finish it. I don't know. I'm in page 155. I don't know what's happening. I just you know what, I need to pick up the book and finish it. Okay, now let's get into my Kindle and Goodreads because I have a lot of books in my Kindle that I haven't finished. Okay, but first, let's talk about, I think, like my least favorite book of 2021, and it was a book that I DNF'd. That is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. If you follow me on my TikTok since like the beginning of my account, you probably know that I rated this book very, very low. And I DNF'd the book because I just cannot, for the life of me, get through the book. It was putting me in the worst reading slump. I don't know what happened. You guys, I was so hyped up with that book. I gave it so many tries. Like, I tried and I tried, keep reading, it's gonna get good. And I just cannot do it. Yes, I cannot do it. It was slow, I did not see the plot, it was repetitive. I was like, what is happening? Like, when is this going to like progress into something? Yeah, it was really like overall frustrating for me. I don't think I'm gonna finish that book ever. Again, if I didn't like the book, it does not mean like that you're not gonna like it. Give it a try. If that book was a movie, I would totally watch the movie. You know? I think, wait, are they turning that book into a movie? But yeah, I just cannot do it. Okay, now let's get into my Kindle. I have the Kindle app here because my Kindle is over there. When I first started reading, like I think this was like the third book that I tried to read. This is I Tell You I Love You, But Then I'd Have to Kill You. And this is a very, very YA book series. It's about like a school of girls that are spies. Something like that. I don't actually remember that well. I started reading this book and I didn't finish it because it was too YA for me, you know? I do recommend it for people that tell me like, please give me YA books or books for kids 12 and up, 13 and up. I always recommend this series because like the actual story and the plot was really interesting. It was just a little bit too YA for me. The next book that I started and didn't finish, it's a non-fiction book. This is The Gifts of Imperfection. This was another book that I started reading out of like mood. I was literally going through like a identity crisis, and I started like researching non-fiction books. I started reading this book and it's honestly really good, but it was kind of like when I was kind of in a mood, so it was good, did not finish. It's a non-fiction book. I do recommend it, but yeah, like kind of okay. I literally have one book left. The last book that I started reading and did not finish, and this one I did not like. This is Credence, I never know how to pronounce that book. This is by Penelope Douglas. Okay, so this book is a very spicy book. The story, like I started reading the book because I had heard that Penelope Douglas wrote a lot of like spicy books. I started reading this book and I was like, okay. When I think I got to page 250 maybe. But the thing is that the spice is good. But for me, the story is awful. Did not like the story at all. Did not see a point. It was, honestly, I felt it was kind of a mess. You know, a lot of things were happening. It was really weird. Okay, you guys, so I think that's it. Overall, I have a really bad habit of starting books and not finishing them. A lot of them are not because I don't like them. It's just I'm a mood reader, bad habit. But yeah, I wanted to make this video because a lot of you guys requested it and you were very intrigued of the books that I had DNF'd, but these are all the books that I did not finish. But I hope you guys liked the video. It was a quick one, but nonetheless, I hope you liked it. If you did, please subscribe down below, turn on the notification bell so you get notified when I upload more videos, because right now for Vlogmas, I don't really have an uploading schedule. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I will see you Thursday. Yeah, I will see you Thursday. Bye!
Oh, corks and bottles, ready to pop out. Oh, no more crying. We are knocking out another year of new loves.